Deep in the heart of West Africa, there's a land of sprawling sand and savanna, a place where the ghosts of incredible wealth whisper on the same winds that carry the sounds of modern conflict. This is Mali, a nation caught between its glorious past and its incredibly turbulent present. And get this is a land that was once home to the single richest person who has ever lived. It's a wild paradox, isn't it? So how did the cradle of gold become this crucible of instability? What happened here? Well, the last decade has been an absolute storm. It starts in 2012 with a rebellion, which sparks a military coup. The next year, foreign troops arrive. And then, just when you think things might settle, bam, another coup in 2020. And then another one in 2021, leaving the nation under military rule. But this storm, it didn't just come out of a clear blue sky. No, its seeds were planted centuries ago in a history of both unimaginable glory and some really deep fractures. To really understand what's happening today, we've got to go back, way back, because the story of modern Mali is built on the foundations of some of history's most powerful empires. You see, this land was the heart of not one, but three legendary West African empires. For centuries, they controlled the whole shebang, the vital trans-Saharan trade routes. They were the gatekeepers for the flow of gold, salt, and knowledge between Africa and the rest of the world. And at its peak, the Mali Empire was a global superpower. Think about that for a second. While much of Europe was still stuck in the Middle Ages, this empire was swimming in wealth, drawn from what seemed like endless reserves of West African gold. And leading that empire was a man named Mansa Musa, a ruler whose personal fortune is almost impossible to calculate today. His pilgrimage to Mecca is the stuff of legend. The stories say his caravan was so enormous, and he gave away so much gold along the way, that he literally crashed the economies of entire regions for years. Just mind-boggling. But this empire wasn't just about the money. Its true wealth was also in knowledge. The city of Timbuktu, it became this dazzling beacon for scholars. Its libraries held hundreds of thousands of priceless manuscripts on everything from astronomy to philosophy. This place was a magnet for the brightest minds on the planet. So you have to wonder, how did such a powerful civilization thrive right here? Well, the answer is in the land itself, a place of dramatic and stark contrasts. Picture a country basically sliced in two. To the north, you have the endless Sahara Desert, which was the source of salt, a commodity that back then was literally as valuable as gold. And to the south, you have this lush, fertile savanna kept alive by the Niger and Senegal rivers. This contrast, it shaped everything. And you know what? That ancient geography is still shaping Mali's destiny. The country's modern economy is completely tied to the land. Gold, of course, is still a huge deal, but so are the cotton fields and the livestock that depend on those southern rivers. All told, these resources account for about 80% of the country's exports. But look, Mali is so much more than its gold or its rivers. The real soul of the nation, beyond all the headlines, that's its people. And its culture is one of the most vibrant and resilient you'll find anywhere. I mean, it's not one single group of people. It's this incredible mosaic of dozens of different ethnic groups, like the Bambara, the Fula, the Soninke, each with their own languages and traditions, all living side by side for centuries. And the glue that holds all these histories together? It's the griots. You can think of them as living, breathing libraries. Before writing was widespread, it was the griots' job to memorize and pass down the histories, the family trees, the epic stories of their people, often through these absolutely incredible songs and performances. They are the keepers of memory. Okay, so we've got this amazingly rich history, golden empires, keepers of memory. So how on earth did we get from there to here, to the crisis of today? Well, the road has been a long and difficult one. It didn't happen overnight. First, the great empires crumbled, leaving a massive power vacuum. Then, France moved in, establishing colonial rule. And even when independence finally arrived in 1960, it wasn't a magic fix. It was followed by decades of unstable rule, creating these deep cracks in the nation's foundation, cracks that would eventually shatter into the conflicts we see today. And lurking just beneath the surface of all this political chaos is a devastating social reality. The legacy of slavery is still alive. Some estimates suggest that as many as 200,000 people are trapped in systems of hereditary servitude. It's a deeply rooted problem that makes any path to peace that much more complicated. And this is where it gets really messy. The outside world might see this conflict as a straightforward fight against terrorism, but on the ground, it's a tangled mess. As one Malian military commander put it, the fight against terror is often just a cover for banditry, theft, and old-fashioned score settling. It's a place where old grievances and new greed are disguised in the fog of war. Which brings us right back to where we started. Mali is a land of gold and ghosts, of incredible achievements and overwhelming challenges. The story of its empires proves its people can build truly extraordinary things. The question now is whether the light from that brilliant past is bright enough to show the way forward through the fire of the present.